Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is President-elect Trump's new choice for U.S. Attorney General after former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz abruptly withdrew his name from consideration yesterday. Nicole Skanga has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi has been a supporter of Donald Trump since the first time he ran for president.
There is only one choice in this election: Donald Trump.
She defended him in his first impeachment trial. Now she's the president-elect's new pick for U.S. Attorney General after former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz dropped out.
I got the sense that the process was going to be challenging.
CBS News has learned that at least 8 Republican senators would have voted against Gaetz amid a House Ethics Committee investigation into allegations he had sex with a 17-year-old. Gaetz denies it all. Scandal may also impact the confirmation chances of Trump's pick for defense secretary. Army veteran and Fox News host Pete Hegseth met with GOP senators Thursday. His visit came as a police report from Monterey, California, revealed details of a 2017 sexual assault allegation made against him. No charges were filed.
The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
Some Republican senators are standing by him.
I believe where Pete's at on this thing, and I'm going to be pushing to get him confirmed.
But others have concerns.
It's a pretty big problem, given that we have a sexual assault problem in our military.
Trump is aiming to have all his cabinet selections made by Thanksgiving. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Among the cabinet positions Trump is still considering are Treasury Secretary and Labor Secretary.